What's going on, everyone? Have you been unable to put your window down or even put your window up because your motor's burnt out on you? Well, in this video I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to replace it. Yes, what's going on, everyone? I am Adam from Green Auto Services and welcome back to a new video. Now, you may recognise the car behind me. This is the Ford Fiesta that we've been working on and done a couple of videos on the last few weeks. Now, unfortunately, when I was using this vehicle, the actual motor to the window regulator, basically the motor that makes the window go up and down, burnt out on me. Now, I do suspect why it burnt out on me, but in this video we are going to be taking off the door card to gain access to the window motor so we can actually swap it out. As I go through it step by step, I'll show you exactly what you need to do to remove the door card and why I suspect this burnt out in the first place. So what you may come across at least once in your lifetime is being able to remove the door card. This will gain access to the motor that drives the regulator, which in turn makes the window go up and down. So let's get this removed first. Now, the first thing you need to do is up in the door handle here, there is a small circular plastic cover which you just need to pop out using a really small pick or screwdriver. That will expose one of the screws that is holding the door card in place. The next thing you need to do is to remove the cover from the door handle, which will then expose another 2 bolts that are holding this door panel in place. Okay, so here we are up at the door handle now. Like I just said, in here, now the plastic cover wasn't actually with the vehicle when I got this, but inside the door handle there'll be a circular plastic cover which just pops out. Put it to one side, and in there you do have a torque screw you need to remove. We're going to do that in just 2 seconds. The next thing I'll be doing is using a trim tool to gently take this cover of the door handle off, which will expose another 2 screws. Okay, so there's the first screw, which is a T20. Okay, now to get this cover off, I'm actually using a plastic trim tool. As long as it's plastic and got a thin edge, you can use pretty much anything. And you just want to kind of dig into an inconspicuous side. Now, you can't see it on the camera, but someone's been digging away at this prior to, so that's definitely a sign that someone's been in here already. So who knows what we'll find. Okay, now I don't have a magnet, but those 2 screws are now undone. So what we're going to do next is actually pry this plastic door card away from the door. Okay, so at this point we've actually removed the only 3 screws that are holding this door card in place. The rest is actually just plastic rivets, which will literally just pop off. You do have to give it a little bit of brute force. They are pretty good plastic rivets actually, but don't be surprised if you do break some, probably 1 or 2 in the process of. Do be careful, take a bit at a time, but plastic pop rivets is effectively what is holding this door card on. Once we remove it and it's all loose, we're then going to address the wiring which is connected to everything inside. And on that note, there is going to be wiring connected to the actual window switch underneath. Now, these are quite difficult to get out because they've got retaining sprung-loaded tabs on the back side of it, which really do hold it in place. And if you try and force it up from the outside, you're probably going to do some damage. So it's a good idea to take the door card off, take all the wiring off, and then try and pop it up from the inside. So let's do that right now. Okay, so just using the trim tool, I'm going to start from the bottom corner and slowly work my way around. Okay, and actually once you've used the trim tool just to pop the first 2 out, you can then slowly with your fingers work your way around. The rest off. Okay, there we go. So now that is actually really loose. Okay, so now that everything's popped off, the door card is literally just hanging over the lip of the window. So all we need to do now is just literally lift the whole thing upwards, and then they'll be able to pull it towards us to access the wiring from behind. What I'll do is I'll probably disconnect everything and then turn it around and show you all the little bits that need disconnecting accordingly. Okay, so here is the door card off. So let me just take that away. Let me show you the connections that had to come off. This one here, this is one of the most important ones. This is what links your inner door handle to the door latch. Without reconnecting that or disconnecting that, you won't be able to open up the door from the inside. Now this does, where does it go? This actually does connect in this little slot here. I'm going to try and get the best angle for you. It's pretty difficult one-handed, but this effectively goes in underneath the tab at the end and then pushes down to lock in place. And you know it's in place because there is a tab here. Let's see if I can get you focused. There's a tab here that will push that way to lock it. So when you're taking it apart, you just need to pull that tab backwards ever so slightly and then lift the whole thing out. And what will naturally happen is that small cylinder will locate in a groove in the handle, so you know it's located correctly. So as you pull the door handle, that will pull it forward and open up the door latch. So that's the first important one. Now, I did actually struggle a little bit to get these next two out. So these two go to your window switches. Okay, so those two multi-plugs go into these two sockets here. Now, these are the metal tabs that hold it all into place. If you're trying to just pry it up from underneath, these tabs are actually just going to spread out and actually just lock themselves in more. So what it is a little bit of a fiddle, but what I suggest you do is take the door card off, disconnect them from here. And if you are changing this out for whatever reason, which we're actually going to be doing today, then you can actually just locate the tabs, push them in and get it out this way, which saves you actually damaging any of the surrounding. I'm going to leave that there for now. We are swapping it out for a new one because I believe the original one is why this motor burns up in the first place, but I'll explain that to you as we go. Then there's just a couple of miscellaneous plugs. This one goes to the tweeter, which is just up here. That's a really easy one to access because it's actually near the top, mounted just above the motor. And I believe that was it. So once you've disconnected everything, you can then take this inner trim and just pop it to one side. Okay, now the good news is now that we've removed the door card, this is all we need to do for this repair, which is actually really good news because this is really easy to do. Now, here's a quick story on what I think has actually happened. Now, I noticed that the actual window switch was getting a little bit sticky. It even got to a point where I was driving it one day, I put the window down, it went down without a problem. As I was going along, probably 5-10 minutes later, I could smell almost like an electrical smell, like a burning smell. And that's when I just kind of started having a bit of a nosy, and I went back to the window switch and it hadn't actually popped back up naturally for where I had pushed the button down in the first place. What I suspect has happened is where I've pushed the button, it hasn't quite returned, the window's gone down, and see, there we are. Actually, I'm just going to show you that it's probably difficult to see, but can you see how it hasn't quite popped back up yet? So where I've pushed it down, it hasn't returned. The window motor has taken the window down all the way to the bottom and stopped, but because the switch was still down, it is still supplying a closed circuit and supplying current to the motor, and I think it's just supplied current, it's overheated and it started to burn. So as I was going down the road, 5-10 minutes, I started noticing a burning smell. So as I got home, I tried to put the window up and it wouldn't go up, and I put 2 and 2 together and I'm like, okay, here we go, we've got a burnt out motor, which is really unfortunate because it looked like it was going to rain as well and my window was down. So because of this scenario, the window's been working absolutely fine and the motor's been working absolutely fine. It's only because of a sticky switch, unfortunately, that the motor burnt out. I'm not worried at all about the actual power supply to the motor in general. I believe a faulty switch has caused the motor to overload. This is why we're replacing both. Now, it may not be the same scenario in your case. It might just be an old motor which has finally just given up the ghost and it needs to be replaced. In my situation though, I am replacing the switch as well as the motor. Now, the really good news about these systems, the motor comes separately to the actual regulator. So the regulator is the plastic pulleys, guides and wire that the motor turns to allow the window to go up and down. In quite a lot of cars, the motor comes with the actual regulator. In this case, the motor comes separately, and I believe this same motor, and I'll give you the part number in just a second, is the same motor which is used across quite a lot of Ford vehicles, not just the Fiestas. So whether you got another Ford, a Focus perhaps, or even a later model or an earlier model Fiesta, it may be the same window motor. So if you want to access it, always double check the part numbers. This is the new motor here, and we have got those numbers there. Let me just get you focused. Anyway, I'll pop the numbers up on screen right now so you have it for your records. But if you're ever accessing it, please, please, please check your part number first before ordering anything. So, on to the next step. Let's replace the motor. The motor is only connected by 3 Torx bolts and 1 multi-plug. So let's just take the multi-plug off, 3 Torx bolts out, and the motor will just come straight off. So the first thing to do is to disconnect the multi-plug. Now it's a 6-pin one. You just push down on the black tab at the top and then push the plug away from it. There we go, and that's off. And then with a T25, it's just 3 Torx bolts or Torx screws that hold that in place. And there we have it. You can just take your old unit and throw it away. Okay, so before we fit the new one, it's always a good idea to marry it up to the old one. Now, this is actually a genuine part direct from Ford. Now, this cost me, I believe it was around about 230 bucks, which is around about 120 pounds in the UK. It's not that bad of a price. If you can afford to get a genuine one, then by all means please do, because at least you know 100% it's going to fit. But by all means you can get an aftermarket brand, and I'm sure it'll do the job absolutely fine. This is the main drive spigot or cog. Now it's just multi-splines, and it locates perfectly in the drive gear, which is inside the door, which I'll just quickly show you now. There we are. So you can probably put 2 and 2 together. The drive gear from the motor will sit perfectly inside the splines of the drive motor on the actual regulator itself. Now, it doesn't have to be orientated in a specific position, because what will happen once we've got this mounted and everything in place, we'll actually do a reset on the window motor, which just involves putting it all the way up to the top, holding the switch up for 10 seconds, putting it all the way down, holding the switch down for 10 seconds, and that will literally tell the motor where the highest point is and the lowest point is. Okay, so now we've got the old motor out, we now just need to put the new motor in. And as easy as it is accessing it, it is now a case of installing in reverse order. So let's do that now. Okay, so it's really quick just to get the door card back on and fixed into place. But before we put the retaining screws in, what I want to do is fit the new switch loosely to the wires that are coming out through the door and actually test that the motor is doing its job. Okay, there we are. So the door card's back on. We've put the new switch just connected up loosely, and we've tested the window. The good news is the motor is now working absolutely fine. So we can now finish putting the door card back on. This new switch, of which the part number I will put up onto screen for you now, is placed back into the door card just by pushing it down until the locator tabs spring out and lock itself in. Okay, so now that the window switch is located, we can now get the 3 retaining screws back in their place and the covers back on. Okay, so this is the last little bit. Now that we've got everything back together, depending on your vehicle, you may or may not have automatic windows. So in this case, if I was to press the button to go down, it will automatically go all the way down without me needing to hold it. Now, if you've ever replaced the motor or perhaps even replaced the battery in your car, it's going to reset those values and the window won't automatically work. Now, there's a very easy way to do this. That is actually going to work for 90% of the cars out there. Maybe 95. Don't know the numbers, but it's going to work for a lot of them. So in this case, you just want to press down, with the ignition on, obviously. Want to put the window down to its max position. Press and hold the button down. Hold it for about 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, let it go. Go all the way up to the up position. Let go and then press and hold again in the up position, another 10 seconds. And that should be it. So if we test it now, the window should go all the way down. And if I press it all the way up, or press it once, it should go all the way up on its own as well. There we are. And you are all done. You have successfully managed to change out a bird tail window regulator motor without having to take it to a garage. Okay, and there we are all done for the day. If you're looking to replace a window regulator motor on your Ford Fiesta, that is exactly how you do it. It's a very straightforward, easy repair. Now, by all means, if you've enjoyed the video, learned a little something, then by all means, please don't hesitate to hit the like button, comment, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button. So there's going to be more videos on this Fiesta. This isn't the only fix that we've done for today, so there's plenty more videos coming down the line. On that note, I am Adam from Green Auto Services. Thanks again, and we'll see you guys in the next video.